The centre has now entrusted the CBI with Manipur's horrific video case from May 4th in which two women were sexually assaulted and paraded naked by a mob of around 13 men. Former army chief has also raised an alarm, citing his surety of involvement of foreign agencies, and has also said that Chinese aid to these insurgent groups seem to be present as well. Officials say that the case was given to the probe agency on a reference from the Union Home Ministry. However, as violence and arson has been persisting for around 3 months now, authorities are yet to counter the vandalism and assault in the state. How will Manipur actually return to normalcy, and will the CBI find the real reasons behind this enormous problem that the state has been going through? We'll talk about this with our guest. Joining us on the show is Major General Sudhakarji, VSM veteran, geopolitical expert. Major General Dr. G.G. Dwivedi, Global and Strategic Affairs expert, also joins us on the program. Mr. Jitendra K. Ojha, former Joint Secretary, Cabinet Secretariat, also joins us on the program. And last but by no means the least, Mr. Sumit Peer, Senior Political Commentator, also with us on the program. General Dwivedi, I'll begin with you. Very simple Prozac question to you. We can't undo what happened in Manipur, but the plan here is to not allow anything remotely of what has been happening in Manipur in the future as well. How can we actually create this envelope, this environment, this ecosystem where citizens of Manipur feel safe? Even BJP MLAs in the state have been targeted, given electric shocks, have been rendered paralyzed. I shudder to think what the common man is feeling right now in Manipur. What can be done here?
Well, Vaneet, I think firstly, some of us who have spent long time in Northeast and particularly Manipur, I think the situation today is far worse than ever before. Of course, Manipur had its fault lines of ethnic clashes, of geography, of course, the external forces have always been at play, and I can vouch for that, having commanded my division in Manipur and also follow China very closely. But nonetheless, the situation today is something which has almost surpassed all the previous, I think, scenarios. First and foremost, it's very unfortunate that 3 months have gone by and we have not been able to get the state back into normalcy. And for that, there are reasons which need serious introspection. First and foremost, the current dispensation has proved totally ineffective, and until we bring in an overhaul, I don't think any situation can improve. And for that, I can go in 2004 when I was the division commander. Half the Manipur was under militants, but then a very firm action was taken. We got the combined headquarters, the central was directly involved, and the army was totally given freedom. We had in counterinsurgency role, and in 18 months' time, we brought the Manipur back on track. But today, that's not the case, because I think the politics have overpowered every other dimension, and we are paying the price. The second issue is that currently the state forces, the police, the center paramilitary forces, are also not effective. And until we place we bring in a new dispensation, bring in a new governance mechanism, I think even the governor needs to be changed, and there has to be central rule in this state where all the agencies must be clearly defined their role. I think the army must first is to disarm the warring groups, all the ethnic groups. And today, mind you, Manipur is a battle zone. The villages have been fortified. There are about 4,000 to 5,000 arms that are there with the civilians and the militant groups. And just a case in point, that previously the militant groups are fighting the security forces for autonomy, for freedom, for independence. But today, the groups are fighting each other. They are on each other's neck. They are all in for decimating each other. So that is the major challenge, that how the groups will be disarmed. I think army is the only agency which can do that. Secondly, the Assam Rifles, they are deployed on the borders. They must seal the border and ensure that inimical forces, especially the gun running, as you talked about Chinese hand, and also these bordering Myanmar states, And mind you, Myanmar is Sinicized. There is a deep influence of Chinese in Myanmar, and I have traveled to Myanmar a couple of times, and I can vouch that Chinese influence is very deep. Thirdly, the state police and the police forces, I think they should be more involved in maintaining law and order. And my final call is that please understand it's a national call. It's not only Manipur, it's the complete Northeast that is actually feeling the tremors. And if we don't handle it, the Northeast itself will become an inferno. So my submission is the center must now directly get in. Dispensation present must be changed. The law enforcement agency, the armed forces must be very clearly defined their role, and at no time should be lost further, and politics must take back seat. It's a national security, and security must be now in the forefront. Vineet.
Absolutely. Mr. Ojha, if you can hear me, sir. Mr. Ojha?
Yes. You are unmute? Yes. Yes, I can hear you very well, Vineet.
So
please go ahead.
We've discussed this offline in the past as well, and you are, critically concerned about what's happening in the Northeast. It's not only about, where the system has failed or rather collapsed to some degree, but, this foreign intervention angle, if it continues to be undetected, it also could seep into other parts of the country as well. Now, that is not only pertaining to Manipur, this will, in all likelihood, become a national security threat.
It is already a national security threat, Vineet. People are mocking at Indian state that, look, this is what we can do. And sometimes the instruments and weapons they're using, those weapons are our civilians. They have got into minds of those people. We can always say, I've always been very critical of the fact when we say some foreign power is intervening. I don't think, we are that helpless and our job is to complain. Our job is to give them a robust response and build a stronger capacity. I would slightly disagree with General Dwivedi on Sinicization of Myanmar is an unmistakable reality. There is no confusion about that because Myanmar government is dependent upon China for a variety of reasons. We know this government is ostracized. But Myanmar Naga Hills, these were never entirely controlled by Myanmar army. I have also served in this area, Vineet, and very closely coordinated with both Div Commander in Limakong and Corps Commander in Dimapur. And it was a wonderful association we built, and we contributed in most non-coercive ways to bring situation under control. Because there was a time when we used to say insurgency in Northeast is far more protracted than even J&K. And after this Bangladesh, we had Sheikh Hasina government, things changed dramatically. But it's very sad that we are not able to contain situation in Nagaland and internally, as you're talking about, collapse. And it's an insult to Indian state that, 90 days something is happening and we are watching as mute spectators. I 100% agree with quite a few points, but, we are at a different stage right now. And this is time where security has to be completely independent of political leadership as far as its day-to-day maintenance and operation is concerned. Of course, it has to be accountable to political leadership. Political leadership must oversee. But in this sensitive state, or I would say everywhere, the rule of law and security, they should be completely autonomous as far as their day-to-day function is concerned, Vineet. And I don't think that we are incapable of bringing it under control. But when you talk about collapse, things had been deteriorating to this extent. What were all other agencies doing? When CBI goes to investigate these incidents, of course, those incidents shook conscience of whole nation and anybody who watched it. There is no doubt about it. But situation was deteriorating that very badly where state law machinery has ceased to exist. And tribals are saying that they can't trust police. And as you said, that police was not able to protect even politicians. So what has led to this collapse? This may not be just, a matter of few days or few weeks. Something has been brewing for far too long, and our people have been caught napping beneath. There is no doubt about it. And even if they had informed, why is it that our system was not strong enough to take preventive measures to do something of this nature? So lot many questions are required to be answered, Vineet. I know tactically at this point of time, I agree with General that we need to change governor. Governor has to be a former senior general or a former civil servant, either of these two things. A political governor is in no position to do it. And even in civil service, like I remember many a time, governor was someone who could call army commander or police chiefs, etc., and speak to them very firmly. And tell politicians also that, look, these are red lines. These red lines you cannot cross. So right now, yes, at a tactical level, we need to do these things and give free hand to these people. And at the same time, I would say much more strategic changes are required beneath. We can't complain that, look, A is intervening, B is intervening. What prevents us from deterring those A, B, or any foreign power for that matter? We have some of the most intelligent people in everywhere, isn't it? It's possible for us, even with minimal resources, to contain those people. So something is seriously wrong, rotting and stinking with our systems, Vinit. We have to acknowledge it. Unless we acknowledge it, we can't remedy it.
Okay. General Sadakarti, do you think that is the first step towards fixing Manipur? The acknowledgement of failure, the acknowledgement that the system has collapsed and failed is perhaps going to be the first and the crucial step towards fixing it.
Vinit, good evening. Thank you for getting me to your show. Absolutely. To find a solution to a problem actually starts with correct identification of the problem. What is the problem in Manipur? I couldn't agree with the co-panelist, the previous co-panelist, Mr. Jha more, and then the General Dwivedi. They have spoken so beautifully. To me, it appears it's very unfortunate, very painful for a soldier to speak like this. The situation is being allowed to slip away from the effective control of our governance. Past 3 months, this calendar days, each day is turning out to be, if Doklam could be the whole of nation approach, if the, let's say Galwan, the entire nation stood up to give a fitting reply to the Chinese, or any other situation, J&K, the whole nation has come together. Why is this Manipur fretting and fuming and doing nothing? Isn't it the call of the nation to stand up and give a fitting reply? Haven't we understood the design, greater design of forces inimical to the nation's growth story? Is it something new that we are discussing? Is Myanmar something new? From 1st of February 2021, the bell had started ringing that yes, now the siren is blasting out against India. And the day we joined Quad and also the I2C2 or U2, that was another turning point. And the recent visit of the Prime Minister to US, these are all clear indications, and our gradual incremental departure, winning away from that evil of, people say that from Russia and the coalition partners, they have been also clear indications. So what I'm coming to, the quick solution, Vinit, if you allow me, is that most of them have already been covered, that we need to bring the current situation to normalcy. Peace is the first and central requirement of Manipur. How do you do it? We do it by effective unity of command is very important. Is the unity of command today ambiguous, ineffective? The answer is yes. That is why 3 months have passed by. What is the unity of command? Is it the civil governance, the rule of law? I don't think so. Suspicion and lack of trust is the central fiber of the violence today. How do you overcome lack of trust and suspicion? Between cookies and Maitais and other, there are 26 other groups. You get a neutral party. I think enough is enough. It's in a border state. I'm afraid maybe the mandarins or the experts who are sitting in South Block or PMOs, they may be knowing much more than what one is studying and researching. I mean, there is nobody better than General Dwivedi. He should have the last say. And I've been his student. What is coming to my knowledge and analysis is that it is going to be, not going to be, it is already an inferno. The northeastern states have got totally encircled. We have not come to know, thanks to your channel. I think through your channel, I'm the one or some of us made this point, and after that there was a parliament debate as to why the border with Myanmar is not fenced. Why haven't we adopted a counter-infiltration role? After that, there was a discussion. It has come out in all leading newspapers. Drones, high-tech, scams, all kinds of surveillance devices. Everything is in position. If everything is in position, then how the hell the infiltration is taking place, or migration, for lack of correct expression, is taking place? How is this poppy cultivation extended? Golden Triangle is extended to Nagaland, Manipur. Why isn't there a whole of nation approach to actually address all the issues? Why is there a lack of development? Yes, I know a lot of development has taken place. There is no denying the fact. In past 8 to 9 years, there is a significant change, and there is a change in the employment profile also in the state. A lot of things have undergone change.
Right.
But let's come that we need to address the issue in a multi-pronged manner. Unity of command is one. Military must be given back its rightful place, they must carry out successful surgical.
Right. You're right, sir. And Sumit, I think, the politicians have also not really figured out a concrete plan on how to solve this conundrum that exists in Manipur for so long. There's been a lot of whataboutery, there's been a lot of lip service, but no actual action is being seen in Manipur. And, the generals are right, Mr. Ojha is absolutely right. There is a part that was supposed to govern and predict the intelligence in Manipur, which has completely collapsed. But the solutions are way more important than the problems today. What do you think can be done?
Vinny, thank you for having me on your show. The three prominent gentlemen which are here, they have all served there. They understand the ground. I mean, I never had the privilege of serving there, but what my understanding is, Vinny, a lot has changed in Manipur in the last 5 years after BJP has come to power, and that is what the issues are going wrong. You see, Mahabharata was fought, it's not about Manipur, neither it's Maithis, neither it's Cookies. I'll tell you a few instances and prove me if I'm wrong, point by point, line by line. First number thing, 15,441 acres of poppy cultivation destroyed in last 5 years. 10 days back, Amit Shah ji announced 10 lakh kilos, 10 lakh kilo of drugs were burnt by India. Golden Triangle is a part of that. Cookies and Maithis have been there. The Honorable High Court has given a tribal status to Cookies. Now, if you go to some old documents that Cookies were imported into India and all, I'm not even going into that. Today, they are Indians. Now, when you look at that, who controls these drug routes? What is the problem if a Maithi gets a foothill or gets a stake in a hills? What is the problem of a Cookie? The problem is Maithi is a Hindu because basically these are the drug routes where the traditional drug trafficking has been happening. Now look at the demography of the place. What is the density of Manipur and what is the density of UP? जब यूपी में कोई किसी का गला नहीं काट रहा, what is the need of doing it in Manipur? Then who is holding the Indian army for last 1.5 months? Do you think these jihadis or terrorists have the ammunition to hold Indian army for 1.5 months? Who is holding them? Where is the ammunition coming from? Where are the supply lines coming from? Where is precise, where is the role of China in this? What was the role of Colonel, who killed Colonel Santosh Tripathi? The CEO of Assam Rifles, and along with his wife and son, was Arakan sir. Now, with all these things going on, why did 10 Kuki MLAs side and demand a separate Kuki land? What is the need of a Kuki land? Why do you suddenly need a Kuki land? How did a protest of 1,000 people get into this and, get the hell broke loose? And why Marcos have been deploying? What is Para-ASF doing there? If it's all is about a Kuki Methi law and order situation, what is Para-ASF doing there? Whom is Para-ASF engaging with? Whom is Marcos engaging it? And poppy cultivation, we need, is $300 to $600 million in this area of land. When you disrupt money, when you disrupt deadlocks, when you disrupt armed rebellions, when you disrupt these armed lords, the things are going to hit the fan. That is what exactly has happened. Why are Kuki women on record on social media saying we want to cultivate poppy? When you disrupt $300 to $600 million business, the things are going to get loose. The things are going to get bad. They will come and hit you back. These are some of the prominent questions which I want to put through your broadcast to us, and they're all factually correct. So it is not a mere law and order problem. 1,000-person march, how did it go so bad? How were villages attacked en masse overnight? Army was deployed there, Assam Rifles was deployed there. As far as the issue of two women is concerned, I fully condemn it. This cannot be supported in any way whatsoever. I don't care whether they're Kuki, Methi, or whichever. They are Indians and this should not have happened. But is it untrue still naked women have been trying to stop the police and the Assam Rifles? Is it untrue still some naked women went some time back and stood in the front of Assam Rifles naked? Who were these women? If what happened with Kuki women is unjustified and unright and everybody who has done it should be hanged. But what about the cases about Methi women? What about their gang rapes? What about their abductions? What about they paraded naked? Why we are not talking that? Why we are not talking what happened in Rajasthan? Why we are not talking what happened in West Bengal? Why we are not talking what happened to women in West Bengal? Why only one particular incident which happened 2 months back was exactly made viral on the day Parliament began its session? These are some of the pertinent questions I'm talking. And let me take you to the geopolitics of it. This doesn't end here.
Okay.
These are the ab dekhiye, when you talk of Victoria Newland visiting Bangladesh, Victoria Newland visiting Myanmar, Donald follows.
Right. We have a paucity of time. Yeah, quickly conclude your points.
Vinny, 1 second. Victoria Newland goes to Bangladesh and says, you have done good job vis-a-vis Rohingyas. You're keeping their human rights. And before Prime Minister Modi reaches the US, Obama is firing blacks. Human rights and the minorities are attacked. And who are Kukis? Christians, Maithis, Hindus. And some of the Kukis who are Jewish have written to Benjamin Netanyahu asking him to save them. So, and Rana Ayub is already talking that there's a...
But that is the big question. How did it get to this, General Dwivedi? How did we come to this? That's the position that we are at right now.
Yes, absolutely. I think I wish to throw some light on this. First and foremost, Vineet, having operated in all the regions of India, whether Valley, Northeast, Punjab, and anywhere, unfortunately, Northeast pays the price for being out of not on the radar screen of the center. It's always given some kind of a lip service or a peripheral treatment. Same thing, had it happened anywhere, you would have found the reaction would have been far more prompt and far more effective. Now, for the information of the viewers and also for Sumit Peer, please understand, Army operates under two conditions. One is in the CI role, like whenever the division commander in Limakong, I was in CI role. My whole division that was deployed in Manipur in the company basis. I had the full freedom of action to take the way I would go about or plan. There was no sort of overseeing my action. I would plan and I would, of course, keep the civil administration informed. But the Army had full freedom. Army had Armed Forces Special Power Act. But today, the Army is in internal security role. It's in aid to civil authorities. Only Army will react when civil administration wants it. Otherwise, it won't react. It doesn't have the Armed Forces Special Power Act. Suppose it gets into firefight with civilians, then rest of the life, the Army people will be in the courts and human rights will be always on their head. So therefore, Army is under tremendous limitation. It's not in the CI role. It's in the aid to civil authorities role, and there's no combined headquarters as such, which is directing the role of every agency. And third point is the border. You know, there are 30 battalions which man the border 1,650 kilometers. It mathematically comes to 60 kilometers per battalion. And terrain, only those people who operated there know that it is in some of the places,
right,
you don't see the sunlight during daytime. So these are the constraints why the Army is not able to deliver because of the constraints I brought out earlier. So all I would like to say is that we need to put the complete mechanism in place,
right, sir,
where the Army has full freedom, where the civil agencies are fully coordinating, where the border is actually sealed up. Until that happens, I think Army will continue to be not doing desired results.
We've run out of time, sir. Yeah, we have completely, I apologize, but we have completely run out of time, but this is definitely not going to be the last time we'll be discussing this. It's a matter of grave concern. Manipur is not a lost cause. It is something which can be saved. It can be saved when minds come together. And one of our panelists was absolutely right. The politicization of this entire episode needs to stop.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.